Hello Civ 6 players, how's everybody doing today? This is a video that I've made to show you my attempt in Civilization 6 to establish the Roman Empire. The purpose of this game was to play a Civ 6 game as Rome and gain the historic territory that Rome had at its height, and we used the Not Yet Another Earth map, Greatest Earth map, which is probably the best one to play for playing a game on an Earth-type world. So let's see how we did comparing my game to what actually happened with Rome. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of the ancient era in 4000 BC, and we have our little city there, Rome, population of 1. Got our warrior up there, researching pottery, code of laws. Historically, Rome didn't exist yet in 4000 BC. There were no established nations yet on the Italian peninsula, so we're ahead of the game so far. Okay, so it is now almost 2,000 years later. We are at 2160 BC, and Rome has grown just a little bit from 1 to 3. We've got Crassusopolis, named after the famous Roman general Crassus, big star of Spartacus, the original movie. And let's look around here. We have encountered the Gauls up in France, which was historically accurate. There's the Germans. Let's see, who are these people? That's Georgia. Don't know if the Romans knew who they were at this point. And then, of course, you got Greece. 2000 BC is still way too early historically for Rome to be this active on the peninsula, so we are still ahead of the curve. Okay, so here we are in 100 AD. The Romans have taken over the entire Italian peninsula. We still got Gaul, Germany, Greece has expanded, and we made contact with Egypt. Got Jerusalem over there, got the Persian kingdom. So historically, the Romans pretty much have contacted everybody they should have contacted by this point. Let's take a look at some maps. Okay, so this was what Rome was like in 218 BC. This is actually about what we have now in 100 AD in Civ 6. So it took us a little bit longer to get to the point that the Romans were at then, but we did okay as far as that is concerned. 100 AD, though, the Romans expanded a lot more. This is a map from 40 BC, and by that point, the Roman Empire had pretty much taken over the entire Mediterranean basin. They controlled Jerusalem, like we just saw, which is in Civ 6, a city-state. So we have now fallen behind the curve of what the Romans did. We're at 100 AD with the territory that the Romans had in about 200 BC. So we'll see if we can get a little bit ahead now. Okay, so it is 700 years later, 800 AD. And just to give you an idea, historically by this point, the Roman Empire, at least the Western Roman Empire, had actually fallen. So we're doing okay as far as that's concerned. But it took us this long to conquer Gaul. That is a Celtic city up there. I renamed it Gaul just for convenience. And as you can see, we still have legions at this point in history, 800 AD. And the Gaul city there is not liking that we conquered it. They're going to rebel pretty soon. But other than that, we're sitting with about the same borders that Rome had around 40 AD, except it's 700 years later. We did make contact with the Nubians down there, I think is them. Yeah, Nubia. And we have some contact in deep Africa, which also by this point Rome had actually done some expeditions in internal Africa. But anyway, conquering Gaul was a very major accomplishment, so we'll see how the empire fares after this. So just to give everyone a comparison to what we're trying to accomplish here, this is the Roman Empire at its greatest extent in 115 AD, 117 AD. And as you saw just a minute ago, we have not even approached anywhere near that kind of territory by 700 AD, which is about 600 years after Rome was like this. We're sort of close to this, which is the Eastern Roman Empire. I don't have the Byzantines in this game. I'm playing with the Greeks mainly, and the Ottomans I think are over there. We haven't met them yet. And historically also, this is what happened to Rome after it broke apart, which is kind of where our previous turn was. So we survived the downfall of Rome, but we definitely do not have the kind of territory they had. Now, going back to the game here, Gaul did rebel and they joined the Germans, ironically. So, kind of historical irony there. And we have a really big war with Greece going on right now. Now, just to give you a spoiler, this game I played, the attack by Greece and the war between Rome and Greece was pretty much what set Rome up in the game as a superpower, because once we took over Greece, we became very powerful, and you'll see what happens after we win this war. But right now the war's raging. It's 1240 AD, and we have successfully circumnavigated Africa, which is something the Romans never did, never even tried to do really. And most everything else is the same. Most of Arabia has been discovered. I said the Ottomans a minute ago. That was wrong. We do not have the Ottomans in this game. We have the Georgians in the place of the Russians. These guys are kind of supposed to be the eastern tribes of the steppes of Russia that were really far behind, like Bronze Age, when Rome was active. And you got the Mongolians over there, which in the real Middle Ages in Europe, they caused quite a problem, but they haven't had much contact yet with the Romans. So we'll check in with you when the war with the Greeks is over. So we're back. It's now 1575 AD, a couple hundred years after the last time we saw the map. Pretty much everything is the same up in Germany. The big news is Greece has completely fallen, and the Roman Empire now controls all of Greece. Historically, that took place many hundreds of years before this time, because we're basically in the Middle Ages now, so we're really behind the historical curve there. Over here, the Gauls have expanded down into Spain. They actually have a pretty powerful nation over there to the west. We've got the first Roman colony down there at Carthage. Carthage is not in this game. I just named the city that. And that's in North Africa. The Nubians, by the way, have conquered Egypt. And we have actually discovered the New World, 1575. So we're kind of at the same point Columbus was, or about 100 years afterwards. And we got South America mostly discovered, Cuba up there, Haiti up there, tip of Florida. So we kind of have done what the Spanish did. All right, so it is 1760 AD, and it took quite a long time, but the Romans have now conquered all of France. We got the Frankish kingdom, we got Normandy. We've also discovered the British Isles and met the Scots, which are in this game representing the Celts. New World, nothing is really happening over there. We sent a little Roman expeditionary force there to the a little bay there in South America. I deliberately did not put any civilizations in the Americas in this game, because if you do that, you can't really colonize, because by the time you get there, they are just as advanced as you are. But it looks like the Romans are the only ones that have made it over to the Americas yet. Down in Africa, nothing much has changed. The Nubians are doing really well. Got our North Africa, 2 North African cities, and the Gaul tribes are still doing their thing over in Spain. Looks like one of them is about to revolt. And other than that, things are going pretty nicely. We still don't have full control over the territory Rome historically held. For us to do that, we would need to control basically this whole area over here, as well as the rest of North Africa. So we'll see how we do in the upcoming turns. Okay, so it's about 100 years later. The big news is Rome has conquered the British Isles. We have Britannia there that we founded, and unlike the historical Rome, we managed to move up into the north and take over Scotland. The Scots over here are still historically where Ireland is, and the Germans have pretty much left us alone for the several hundred years. I see that they don't like us right now, which is not unusual. Down in Spain, we had a rebellion. Andoria came over and joined us. Celts are bottled up in this little corner of Spain. And we've expanded into Africa. We've done some things the Romans didn't historically do. We have established colonies in the North African interior, West Africa. Romans never made it that far. Still got this little chunk over here in Egypt that we do not control. And other than that, we are doing pretty good. Also, got some the Roman South American colony over here we've established, and that's about the only presence that any European power has right now in the New World. We do have contact over in Asia. We got the Japanese, the Koreans. We've discovered Australia as of 1848. Nobody is over there yet, and that'll be one of the ultimate goals, is for the Roman Empire to make it to Australia. We'll see if they do it. Well, welcome to the 20th century. It's now 1919, and the big news is the Germans have invaded and conquered Germany, which never happened historically, but it did here. The technology level is about what it should be at this point. We got planes, trains, automobiles, and otherwise, take a look around. North Africa, pretty much the same. Nubia has pretty much left us alone at this point. Mongolia, by the way, has established themselves kind of as the alternate China in this reality. So they're up here in the Mongolian, Russian, China area, next to Georgia, which is a very powerful country. And very happy to announce we have Virginius over here in North America, the first Roman North American colony. And down here in South America, we have Brazilopolis. The Romans founded that not too long ago. Still no real presence in the Pacific. Australia, still pretty lonely, but we'll see if we can change that. All right, well, it is 1940, which historically was when World War II happened, and ironically, we did have quite a major war in 1940 where we conquered all of Egypt, and we took the Nubian capital. The rest of Nubia is kind of retreated down to the African interior down here. We now have a South African Roman presence. We have South Africanus and Simon's Bay over there. Over in Virginia, we got the Carolina colonies, and everywhere else is still pretty much the same. The Scots here are about to revolt. That's going to be the end of them. This is going to become the Irish Roman province. And we got a little settler going up here. We're going to establish a Roman presence in Scandinavia, which also never happened because they never were able to get past the Germans, but in this world we have. So things are looking really good. For us to be like the Romans were historically, we still would have to conquer this area over here, and that's coming soon. We'll see that in the next little installment. So it's the 1950s, and we have done it. We have established the Roman Empire to historically the borders which it held, with a couple of additions, I might add. Over here in France, the Gauls fell. We took them over, established our Portugal cities there. The Scots left. They're going to revolt and become the Irish province. We got Norway under our control. But the big news over here is we took these lands from Georgia, Constantinople, which I renamed, and we're the suzerain of Jerusalem. So we do have the historical Roman territory. And that's what it historically was. And as you can see, we have quite a lot more territory than they did, but they accomplished it much, much earlier than we did. So this is as far as I played the game. Never made it to Australia. Osaka is where Madagascar is. But as you can see, we got some naval presence in the Pacific, and we did explore Australia with our helicopter army. And eventually, if this game were to continue, we would be establishing Roman colonies in Australia. But other than that, oh yeah, we got our Cuba colony there. We had a pretty good presence in the Americas. We had the 2 major colonies. Didn't get too far inland though to establish a Roman America, mainly because we were so busy in Europe. But anyway, a very good game. It was really fun to play this game. I did not play this game any further because this was a very, very long game, and to get this far with the Romans back to the territory they historically held was really, really difficult. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed following our little tour of the Roman Empire through time. Enjoyed showing you this game, and that's it. Bye.